I haven't read anything as to why this guy hasn't been charged either, and he sounds psychotic to be saying this stuff, by the way. I was like, what the hell? Okay, so Ruby Frank, the one that got arrested, her husband claimed Jodi was possessed. Okay, that's just not a thing. That's just not a thing. She may have mental health issues. That's why people, women, and whoever got abused in the past because they didn't understand mental health issues. But the possessed thing, that's not a thing. It's fake. So he sounds just as hokey pokey as her. And his story, when I was kind of skimming it first, I was like, he's trying to paint himself as this like massively weak guy that just submitted to her and then just let things happen. And I'm like, yeah, but you still have a responsibility to make sure your kids are not being abused. So I still don't understand how he's not in trouble. Because even in the op thing, when women are in the abuse with the other partner, they still hold accountability for the children getting harmed. While they may not be the one doing it, they still have some responsibility in making sure that the kids are fine. So him sitting there going, she was possessed shows me that this person, when they could have actually tried to step in and get her maybe even 5150, whatever's going on here, or report whatever, that he just was like going into Crazyville. I have no idea. It's not coming together good. Kevin said he became a resident exorcist for Hildebrandt, Ruby's Frank former business partner, who was also convicted. But they say the estranged husband of the vlogger convicted of child abuse alleged that her business partner Jodi was possessed. According to an interview released last week by prosecutors, Kevin, who filed for divorce from Ruby in November, said he became Hildebrandt's resident exorcist during the time they allowed the former life coach to stay in their house. Why does this remind me? You know what it reminds me? I seen this stupid thing again on stupid ass I think it was like Oxygen again. I hate everything on there, like, because the way they present the stories. But there was this one where this whole family let some like scheming pile of you know what come in and say he's the spiritual advisor, and he basically raped and I think he killed people. He did this whole thing, and then the mom let him sleep with the kids, and then of course he sexually abused the kids, and then kept getting all this money and everything else. It was so crazy. It's reminding me of something like that. Like, who the hell just randomly gets these people to move on in, you know? For whatever religion, whatever garbage like that. So the two were arrested in August after the police found one of Frank's sons emaciated with open wounds. Did you guys see the video? It's pretty bad. He's really tiny. It's bizarre. And he had escaped the home to a neighbor's house, and one of Frank's daughters was found in a similar malnourished condition. So regardless, so how long was he here watching this? So this is what I don't understand. Both women were sentenced February to because he didn't do anything. Okay, to 4 to 15 year prison term, like terms in prison. And okay, so the maximum they can get is 30 years. Okay. In the interview, Kevin, who has not been charged with any crimes, I just don't get it. I'm not really reading anything to see why he wasn't charged with something. He witnessed Hildebrandt at times go into possession mode and talk in different voices. That's not a thing, though. This has some other issue, dude, but what the hell? Like, you guys said, it was really creepy, but the voices would say, "She's ours. We're not letting go. She is Satan's bride." These people are nuts. And he just sat there and watched. I told you, these people are nuts. Like, that other family that I was staying with, they started going on like some weird stuff like this. I go, these people have mental health issues, and for you to sit there and watch it and be like, oh, she's possessed. Like, it's not like she might be totally nuts, and she probably should be 5150 to get the hell out of her house. No, oh no, let's have this person near our kids. See, I don't see him to be any victim in that portion right there. Nothing. Like, what is he being held against his will? No. Is he being physically abused? From what I read, he wasn't. He said that she told him that he can't go upstairs or something. I was just like, okay, but why are you painting yourself out as this person that can't do anything? It's just weird. Attorneys for Kevin Ruby and Hildebrandt did not immediately respond. The interview is the latest window into the months-long child abuse become a spectacle, public spectacle, and then okay, so the Frank family rose to prominence on YouTube. Yeah, because they promote child abuse. Okay, so Frank told authorities why he and Ruby decided to take Hildebrandt in, sharing his timeline of events in the years the two women became close. And then he said he got involved with that thing in 2020 after his wife and one of her close friends persuaded him to join a men's group that met with Hildebrandt every week. So it's him. Wait, he said he got involved with connections in 2020 after his wife and one of her close friends persuaded him to join a men's group that met with her, okay, every week. For a while, he said the meetings seemed to help strengthen their marriage. But then things began to change in 2021 when Hildebrandt allegedly told her inner circle that she believed she was being tormented and haunted by shadow figures every night. Okay, so she might be schizophrenic. Like, that's just what I would think. Like, if she's saying this kind of thing. Because she's not some young kid, like, this garbage, nothing. It's like, what? And by mid-April that year, he said Hildebrandt had reached out to Ruby Frank for help. Ruby was convinced that we could intervene and help Jodi. I didn't want anything to do with it. Kevin said he visited Hildebrandt's home for the first time in May 2021 when she opened up to the couple about her struggles. That was when he noticed crashes in the basement while we were talking upstairs and plates in the kitchen just flying off by themselves, like full speed smashing on the walls and falling to the floor by themselves. Okay, I found these people. No, he needs freaking. Eventually, he said he reluctantly agreed to take Hildebrandt into his and Ruby Frank's home. Because of that? All these people should be in trouble. They also need a head doctor. Okay, so he said he saw Hildebrandt go into trances. No! Why isn't he charged too, though? So he partook in this. He totally did. It's not something that he's being so abused that he couldn't say, no, don't have this happening. We need to get somebody help. She's insane. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. It's like, we're going to buy into this, but I really don't want to help out, but we're going to put this person next to my kids. Okay. The moment she showed up at my house, just the weirdest crap started happening. Lights turning off, on and off, sounds of people walking in wall. Oh, God. He sounds schizo, too. Like footprints going up walls and across the ceiling and stuff floating around, he said. It was weird and I hated it, and I became the resident exorcist. Okay. No. This guy shouldn't even be with kids. What is going on here? They're putting this guy with the kids? Utah. No way. That person is not sane going on like that. That guy right there ain't sane. Okay, he said Ruby had begun going into her own trances by September 2021, during which he allegedly believed she was in heaven speaking with God and Jesus. He claimed she and Hildebrandt would lock themselves in a room for hours, at which he said Ruby would tell him about her visions and the work God had called upon them to do. Kevin described growing more suspicious of Hildebrandt, and her intentions at Ruby Frank's appeared to grow closer to her. He claimed that prompted Ruby to ask for a separation in July 22 after he moved out. He told investigators every week turned into psychological hell. And the only way I would ever get back into my house was if I get Jodi's approval, because if I didn't get Jodi's approval, I would never get Ruby's approval. As I'm looking back, I'm realizing there wasn't a solution. And, well, the solution was don't let them move in. I mean, and it was you either had Jodi's approval or you didn't. Adding, she became like the arbiter of truth and arbiter of forgiveness, God's own mouthpiece. In October last year, just before Kevin and Frank filed for divorce, they had been separated at Ruby's directive, and Kevin did not want to be separated. He wanted to work through concerns as a family. There was never any formal written decree of separation, maintenance, or separation agreement. The separation was under terms prescribed by Ruby and Jodi. And then they said at the time of divorce filing that she was devastated by the news, but she understood Kevin's reasoning and respected his decision. During the trial, lawyers for Ruby, they systematically isolated her from her family over a long period, which caused her to adopt a distorted sense of morality under Hildebrandt's influence. For the past 4 years, nobody in here sounds like they have any brains, like just generally no brains. None of them. The dad is scary. The dad is absolutely scary. For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into dark delusion, and my distorted version of reality went largely unchecked as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. Hildebrandt also gave a brief statement to the court during sentencing. I desire for the children to heal physically and emotionally. One of the reasons I did not go to trial is because I did not want them to emotionally relive the experience, which would have been detrimental to them. My hope and prayers is that they will heal and move forward to have beautiful lives. It's ridiculous. Everybody in here is a psychotic. The dad freaks me out. He's like, I kept hearing all these spiritual things and these things on the wall and they were possessed. It just sounds like a psychotic woman that I don't know. Well, he started saying something about it just sounded like a man-hating group. No, it sounded like it. I don't know about this lady that came in here, but I don't know if she was like trying to prey on the wife. Like maybe this woman here wanted to be with her. I don't know. Like it's questionable. Like I was like, I don't know. Like why would you want to spend all your time with her and then try to get them separated? Like something like that. Like it could just be all a farce. Like her, like just, or she's just completely mentally ill. Like just something where I mean, it almost seems like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be totally thought out and her doing this bullshit. But it also could be that she does legitimately have a mental illness that is aiding in this thing, and then she's just dumb as shit. The Ruby, none of them sound like they have any IQ at all. Like none of them. He's like, I heard all these things walking up a wall, and I'm gonna bring this thing around my kid. So already there's some weird danger to your kid. You think they're possessed. Well, you're bringing some that crap into your house. He wasn't a victim. It's not like he couldn't do something. He's like, I couldn't do this. It's like it's your house. He's like, you live there. You actually have a legal right in your house. So you also could sit there and try to get rid of her, even if she didn't want her to. So, uh, no, it's not a situation. It's not a situation where she's beating the hell out of him and doing all these other things. Then he's just like, oh yeah, and I felt really, I don't know, dude. The dude's nuts. The dude is nuts. Everybody in here is. I feel bad for the kids, dude, because if they're staying with him, oh my god, plates are crashing on their own demon possession. No,